Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm Tahir Dhindsa and you're watching SDTV. China-Pakistan economic corridor has great publicity. Obviously, more than $26 billion Chinese invested on this project, developing infrastructure and all. And wherever this road and infrastructure goes, it has real estate and has land with it. And it has a plan. Now the phase 2, which is industrial phase, and the phase 3, which is agriculture, warranty is one thing, which is environment. Is greening CPEC is possible, and how we can we look forward to greening of CPEC and at the same time keep the pace of development according to the needs. We have today with us Mr. N.A. Zuberi, who is Senior Advisor and Deputy CEO, Kohala Hydropower Project, Chinese, three gorgeous company, South Asia Investment Limited. Zuberi sir, very warm welcome. Please say something on this, on green, how it is possible, because phase 2 is what I understand, 2 or 3 are, that is B2B, more B2B than G2G or B2G.
Thank you, Mr. Tahir sir. Let me brief you that under CPEC, there are around 22 projects with a total capacity of around 13,000 megawatts. Out of these, at least 40% projects are based on clean and green energy projects. So far, about 8,000 megawatts of projects have been completed. These projects include projects based on wind power projects, solar power projects, coal-fired power projects, and hydropower projects. Total capacity which is installed at the moment based on renewable energy projects is 14 megawatts. So you can very well understand that CPEC is already green. The other thing is that there is a talk of the town of the greening of the CPEC. There is a talk of town to convert the existing coal-based projects to the renewable technologies, or people are telling us that we should retire these coal-fired power projects to make the CPEC green. Now, based on my experience, what I say is that, in coal-fired power projects, there are around 8,000 megawatts of coal-fired power projects. Out of these, there are about 3,000 megawatts of projects. To be very exact, 3,600 megawatts of projects are based on thermal, and around 4,200 megawatts of projects are based on imported coal. These projects which have been commissioned under CPEC or which are in the pipeline are in a private sector. It is direct foreign investment from China. And we are grateful for the China to bring such a huge quantum of investment in Pakistan in power sector when nobody is providing basically investments in Pakistan. Now, these projects are operational. These projects are under Power Policy 2002 and 2015. And these projects have signed long-term contracts with Government of Pakistan. They've signed implementation agreement with Government of Pakistan, power purchase agreement with the power purchaser, which is CPEC, and for the land, they've signed land lease agreement with the respective provinces. In these projects, there are lenders. For coal-fired power projects, there are new projects. In Pakistan, as you know, there are tremendous amount of coal resources, which are around 175 billion tons of coal. The lenders are there, and we are in the process of getting an experience on coal-fired power projects. Pakistan has an abundant coal resources, but unfortunately, nobody came to our rescue for the coal-fired power projects. Only it was China which came and developed and proved that this coal can be used in power generation projects.
And in a greener way, environment friendly.
In an environment friendly. All these projects are based on supercritical technology with an efficiency of above 40%.
40%?
Yes, and all these projects have complied all international environmental guidelines, Pakistan environmental guidelines, so that they are, I always say that there is clean and green projects.
All right. Right. And now the phase 2 is major. Phase 2 means major industrialization and major development in agriculture. What do you suggest? How it is possible? Quickly, then we'll ask you.
It can, the industrialization, the phase 2 can also be made very easily green, because the energy which these projects will be required should be used for, will be for the green and clean energy, which means the energy which is to be provided for these projects should be from the renewable energy sources, which is green and clean energy. If you see IGSAP, in IGSAP, we see that by 2031, around 63% of our generation will be through clean and renewable energy, which means all industries will be basing their power requirement from the clean and green energy. Right. So, which means they will be adding to the environments, clean and green environments.
Obviously, it feels that this next phase would be B2B, not G2G, or at least B2G. What do you say about the private sector? Is private sector in trouble in Pakistan? And how can we rescue them?
Yes, basically private sector is not only private sector, but really our whole power sector is facing problems, tremendous amount of problems. The main reason is that there is a political instability. Unfortunately, the economical conditions of Pakistan is not very good. So there is the issue of the basically circular debt. There is the issue of the delay in payments by CPPG.
Repatriation of
exchange. But this is an interim only period. Once the economy moves, then things will improve. These IPPs started from 1994. Yes. Earlier phase of the IPPs did not face such problems. So what I will say that this is the transit part. It will be resolved shortly once the new government is there, once the financial conditions of the country is improved, only then. The other thing is that, when a project is developed in a country and implemented, if from the private sector, it has too many issues. In Pakistan, there is an issue of also competency of various institutions. And the other thing is there are too many institutions. For example, at the moment, power sector is being controlled by more than 19 institutions. So how things can move if there are too many bosses?
Single window. SIFC is there now to provide you single window possibilities.
SIFC is working. They are, I will say, is on a learning curve. Once the things are improved, definitely they have delivered. They move very fast. They take decisions which no other institution takes. But I think in future things will improve, and the investors will feel comfortable in Pakistan.
Do you think that what are the issues? How can we know what is the issue, but how can we resolve this repatriation of profits and circular debt and your payments and the payments to the power sectors?
Unfortunately, for the time being, the power sector is dominated by the imported fuels. And there is the issue of the exchange rate. The exchange rate, has gone, $1 to rupee parity has gone, skyrocketed. So due to this exchange rate and due to the imported fuel, the power basically is becoming unaffordable for the consumers, and the issue of the payments received by the CPPG and the dismissal performance of the distribution companies. But once the system is improved, then obviously things will.
From the policy perspective, what are the regulatory issues? What are the issues with regulatory frameworks do you face?
A regulator is there in our country. For example, NAPRA is there.
But the framework is good also?
Framework is there. It needs fine-tuning. It is not perfect. Obviously, NAPRA is also on the learning curve. Sometimes NAPRA takes a long time, and then that frustrates the investors. Once the NAPRA determines the tariff, then obviously there are certain issues. Then sponsors have again go to the review petition, and it takes time and it is quite frustrating. And in that case, there is some kind of financial losses to the companies also.
Third Belt and Road Initiative, just a road forum
Yeah,
took place.
in October.
What are the initiatives?
The main initiative was that in that the president of China basically announced that $100 billion will be provided for the green and renewable energy projects. And these funds will be provided through China Development, through Export Import Bank of China, and through basically Silk Road Fund, which means that China is also encouraging green and clean energy projects, which means its main focus is on renewable energy projects, which is wind and solar power projects. So it is good for Pakistan also, I will say, because Pakistan is also focusing towards wind and solar power projects according to the IGSAP. So I think the IGSAP direction is this is harmonizes the direction with the direction which Pakistan is following.
One last question. Do you, because I am encouraged from your remarks that it's an interim period and its things are going to settle, how long? Are you going to put some tagline?
I can't put some tagline, but my theory is very simple. If in Pakistan everybody starts working very hard and do whatever, for example, if there is an institution, it has a certain mandate, they should do only that. They should not interfere in other affairs. And there is a issue of the competency also. People should take very quick decisions and they should work hard. Then I think we can basically resolve all the issues which power sector is confronting.
Sir, thank you very much for giving time. So the bottom line is that an expert who has seen time ups and downs for the last 40 or 44 years, he's seeing power sector. He has been there managing director of infrastructure, private power infrastructure board, commissioning all these private projects and all that. He's hopeful and he says it's an interim period and the issues would be resolved. And the greening of CPEC is already green. The power projects are already green. And the future line of finance available from China and other countries also encouraging. So he's hopeful and optimistic. With this, we'd come to the end of the program. Goodbye.